What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 4 of my old school RuneScape stats and progress video series. Today we're going to get a lot into detail about kind of everything. This episode is going to be a bit of a summary of kind of everything I've done as everyone kind of just stands still at the bank. It's a little creepy. There's a guy with an air staff over there doing something, and this guy's, I don't know, he's doing something. In any case, I feel like I haven't been fair in these last ones. I'm getting a lot of questions during my live streams. In which I wish I could direct you guys to one specific video to get all those answers. So this is where that will be. It's going to be good for me because I can send you one place and you can get all your answers. So if you are here for that, thank you for watching and I hope you enjoy. But first and foremost, of course, we got to update you on what has been going on with me. We're going to start with stats this week because who knows? I like to turn things upside down. In any case, as usual, nothing much has changed. The levels are getting a lot higher. It's a lot harder to change levels as fast as I was before. But crafting has gone up a lot. I've actually been, and this is a great answer as to how I've been training my magic. I have been making bracelets and then alching those. And right now they are the only profitable alching anything I can actually find. So that's what I've been doing with my time when I'm not streaming, which is very little, but that's what I've been doing. I've been making bracelets, getting my crafting up. It's kind of nice for me getting my crafting up. I always love being able to do things myself in RuneScape. Old school is definitely geared towards doing things for yourself instead of, being able to buy something or, I just like the convenience of being able to do something myself. So, being able to craft glories or combat bracelets or what have you, that's all fine and dandy, and that's great. That's why I got my fletching up in the first place, because I use bolts and I would like to make them myself. The mage has been going up. That's my main focus right now, leveling wise. I really want to stop having to pot vengeance, which I did get, which brings me to the first kind of big thing that's happened. I did do the lunar quest. It was very easy. It's actually the third time I've done that quest. And yeah, I realize my mouse is just kind of floating around here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just kind of doing nothing. In any case, it's the third time I've done that quest, so went through like a breeze, got my lunar magic, and now I can cast Venge. And if you've been to my live streams, you've been seeing me PK with Vengeance. It's a good time. In any case, let us get on to the bank, and I know you're going to be surprised as soon as I go in. BarrowsBOY, you don't have a 10 mil cash tag. What happened? Is everything okay? Yes, everything is fine. Believe it or not, for those videos, I actually tend to sell a lot of stuff from my bank just to get that 10 mil cash pile, just so it looks nice. This time I decided not to. Like I said, I'm going to be really in-depth and open with you guys about what's going on. So, yes, I only have 6.5 mil. What a shame. Obviously, it doesn't look as good as that green cash pile, but it all works the same for me. Either way, doesn't matter. As usual, I am stocking up. And again, remember, I'm going to be going into great detail here today. So I'm going to really be talking about everything. So obviously, I've got a lot of water runes for doing my Barrows runs. I stocked up on Deaths and Bloods for that. Deaths as well for my Vengeance casting. All of my Mines and Chaos are from Barrows runs. I'm planning on using these 10k Chaos or so very soon. Definitely so I can get some mage levels and maybe grab a couple D-plate legs at metal dragons. Obviously, sharks are always changing because I'm, constantly buying and selling them. I'm not buying them. I'm constantly eating them. I am buying them. Sorry, I'm not selling them, but I am constantly eating them. And then buying more and eating more, obviously, because I spend a lot of my time PKing. My staves, obviously, still chilling. Just one of every, basically, element. I've always had something against Earth Staves, so Lava Battle Staff it is. Lunar Staves, obviously replacing the Drayman Staves if you're keeping score at home of the differences between this video and the last one. House Tabs, all that good stuff. Here's a couple plate skirts keeping the spot of where my super energies should be. Sorry about that. I actually kind of meant to get some super energies before I did this video. Oh well, it looks like shit. I don't care. That's where they would be. Just pretend those are super energies. Obviously, my potions haven't changed much. Herbs still, again, haven't changed much. Going from lowest, not including Guams, to highest, and this is in order, so these are in fact dwarf weeds, lantidimes, etc., 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 snapdragons, toadflax snapdragons, or whatever the fuck this is. I think it's snapdragons. Anyway, I've got a lot of them. Whatever it is, I hope it's snapdragons. This might be snapdragons. This might be quorums, actually. Anyway, doesn't matter. Again, got the seeds, the corresponding seeds. These are the top-tiered seeds. I'm not actually doing any farming at the moment, herb-wise, so these are kind of just placeholders for stuff I get while killing monsters. Again, I did mention that I'm making bracelets. Actually, depending on the price you pay for gems, all the bracelets, ruby, emerald, and sapphire, I should say the lower tier bracelets, all of those are providing profit right now. So at least if you alch them. And if you make them and sell them to people who alch them, that's also profitable. The problem pretty much is getting gems. Gems are really hard to get a hold of. So that's the main issue. It's not exactly the easiest thing to get hold of gems. But when I do, I can do for-profit alchs, if not breaking even or losing barely anything. And that's good in my book, as I am a stingy piece of crap. Here's those gold bars for making bracelets. Obviously, finally got my rune ore. Someone in my live stream gave me one, and I can't remember who it was. I paid him handsomely because I got rid of that stupid fishbowl. So now the ore section is finally complete. Obviously, the logs have been complete for a while. Here's what you've seen a million times before. My arrows and bolts, that's nothing new. What is new is that I have not sold my Zerker helms and rune plate legs since Peking. Usually I like to empty this out. Like I said, I get that 10 mil cash deck, but this is right now the most rune plate legs I have ever had on a RuneScape game. I think that's the same with the Zerker helms. But basically I've been Peking and not selling the stuff that I get. I did sell a wave of daggers, so the daggers are a little low, but as for the Zerker helms and the rune plate legs, I haven't done much selling of those. So I kind of want to get 100. I guess that's a goal of mine. That'd be really cool. I'd love to do that. And obviously I'm not losing any because I am a void range PKer. So every kill I get, I guess we're 60 kills away. Well, most kills I get. I guess we're 60 kills of people risking rune plate legs away from that 100. So we'll see if we can get there. All in good time. Obviously I got my second Ceratoban kite from some kill I got, I think, a while ago. But that's been there. Obviously the initiate sets are continuing to go up. Haven't killed anyone with proselyte in forever. But that's okay. The Barrows crap that's worth nothing, still chilling here. Climbing boots continue to climb as it's really funny. Continue to climb as I kill people. Obviously, you guys know that every time I kill someone in the wildy with climbing boots, I take those boots and I put them in here. So that stack has been continuously going up from about 0. Pretty much that's about how many kills I have in the wilderness right now. So that's pretty cool. Mark of basically how many people I've killed in the wilderness. Again, the strength ammies, I've sold a bunch of these, and I've made a bunch, so really not sure if those are a good estimate of kills. In fact, I do know they're not. Here's my farming area. Obviously, we've got the identified herbs, just in case I need to. I don't know. I just have these, cool stuff. And then the lower level stuff. This is the farming stuff I can actually use right now, which is, it'll be used eventually, I guess. I'm really bad about farming. I really got to get back into it because it is great kind of just sit and wait profit. You don't really have to do much to make money farming. Moving on, obviously, this random junk. We got the leftover bone meal. Those are debones. In case I ever want to get 70 prayer, I can start right there. And as for that, this is nothing new. This is all stuff you've seen. The 2-dose potions I pick up from Peking. Those have been there forever. Here's a pumpkin. Here's some salmon and trout. It's all sort of random stuff. Here's some shit I PK'd. Fighter hat and torso. Obviously, you've seen all this. And this is just stuff that, I use more often than anything else. Obviously, party hats just came out. I did manage to grab, I think, 5 over the course of the 2 weeks that they were out, or I guess the 10 days, or the 14 days. I don't even remember what it was. In any case, I grabbed 5. I got 2 purples, 2 reds, and a blue, and, I got something else. 2 purples, 2 reds, and a blue. Yeah, that's 5. I traded I traded both of the purples away for money, and I traded one of my reds for the white with a good friend of a friend of mine. So that worked out well. Here's some Barrows loot that I've gotten recently. The Cabo, obviously, I do use at the Barrows, but these, the V Helm and the V Brassy and the 2D meds, all from my last little run at Barrows, haven't really just gotten the chance to sell that yet. And the new thing, Fire Cape, awesome. I will flip to, I won't flip to it actually. I'll give you guys a link to where you can see where I get my Fire Cape. It was live streamed. A bunch of you tuned in. It was a good time. I got my Fire Cape. That was a while ago, though. Once again, there is a lag behind on these progress videos. So, if you want to keep up to direct date with me, obviously checking out my live stream is not a terrible idea. But I can't neglect you guys on YouTube. I will obviously give you these stats and progress videos. So, now on to the biggest question I've been getting all the time, and it's how have I made my money? So, if you are here for that, and you weren't here for, looking at my bank and seeing how it's been developing, thank you so much. But I'm going to take some time to talk about every little thing I've done to make money. I started off RSO7 doing what everyone else did, and it was pretty much killing fire giants. That's what I did. But more importantly, I started off with mining and smithing, and it's the reason my mining and smithing are so high comparatively, I guess, to my other skills. Mining, obviously, I got up for lunar diplomacy, but you do need a high mining and smithing level if you're going to make money doing that. So I did a little bit of that. I mined and smithed gold bars, and I actually did get mage XP from that, and I got 55 mage very quickly early on. So a lot of my starting cash came from me mining and smithing and just kind of using that, selling it to people who were training skills to get kind of the higher tier stuff, make glories for people, which obviously made a ton of money. But I got 55 mage. I made about 2 mil alking from 55 to 85. Since then, I have been doing non-profit alks and slightly profit alks. Again, that does take a lot of effort. But as for other money, obviously I have made some money PKing. I have PK'd a whip and a Zerker ring. That can't be ignored. But the majority of my money, percentage-wise, has come from Barrows. A lot of my money, and here's the thing with RuneScape, guys, before I go any further, a lot of the money you're making, you don't even realize you're making it. You know, sometimes you just go and kill a monster and you pick up a couple 100K here and there. Or, you know, you're doing an event and a party hat event, and you pick up a party hat and you sell the party hat. Stuff like that happens all the time, and it's kind of, you know, if you were keeping like a budget list, like a real business does, you know, where all your money is coming and going, there'd be this big gap where, you know, you just don't know where that money's coming from. And sometimes you just don't know where that money is going when you're paying for food and potions, just kind of general expenses, you know, super energies. Sure, you want to run around all the time. You got to pay for that. So PKing has obviously made me a small amount of money, but the majority of my money has come from Barrows. And obviously there's those odds and ends here and there, selling a party hat for money, all that kind of thing. But other than that, guys, Barrows, I did get that visage, and I will continue to say visage because that's the American pronunciation. I'm not going to say visage, as 8 billion of you pointed out, that yes, I do know the pronunciation of when you're talking in French. However, I'm going to continue saying visage because it is being used in an English context, so you can just suck on that. That's my little response to every single goddamn person who decided to troll me or just point it out in my video where I got a visage. Anyway, I hope every time I say visage you cringe a little. So I got 14 mil from that, obviously, but just go ahead and look at my bank that, you know, a lot of this stuff is just sitting here. You know, there's a lot of money just getting stuffed away into my bank. Obviously, the Zerker Helms and Rune Plate Legs, that's a big part of it. You know, this is money. You know, it's just sitting kind of rotting in my bank. And I'm a hoarder, I suppose. So I guess you could say that you know, my bank is more than meets the eye. Because it just does have a lot of this crap sitting around. It is very organized, but again, it's got a lot of stuff just kind of piling up, collecting, and a lot of people don't consider that, you know, they don't count that, you know, when they're looking at people's banks. So, you know, obviously there's, you know, hey, look, I have 40K in flax here. I'm not doing anything with that. You know, there's just junk here and there that's worth every little bit, and, you know, you pick up money as you go. But that's how I've made all of my money, pretty much, guys. PKing, Barrows, and a visage drop. If you were to take those three things, those are the main ways I've made money. Obviously, selling a pumpkin for 1.9 mil isn't too shabby either. But the main reasons I have made money are Barrows, that visage drop, and PKing. So I hope that answers your question. Obviously, there are little things here and there. Killing Tazar, I made like 3 mil at Tazar. Obviously, I do little merchants here and there when I see the opportunity. You should always be on the lookout. This is a great tip. Always be on the lookout for opportunities to make money flipping items. There's no reason you can be in a bank and see someone selling something for cheap and say, oh, someone's going to get a great deal on that. Why not buy it and flip it yourself? Every little bit makes a difference. So, that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you want to catch me almost every weekday, for now, every weekday on my live streams, go to twitch.tv/BarrowsBOY. I will continue making stuff for you over here, of course, if you're not into live streaming. But once again, thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys later. Peace.